What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Investing Bros. We are having a great morning so far here in the crypto markets because, yes, we're sitting at $61,000. If you haven't checked in on Bitcoin's price for the last 48 hours, you might be disappointed. But for anybody who rode yesterday's wild roller coaster, you would know how actually amazing that is that Bitcoin price is back up to 61,000. What does that mean about the bottom of this pullback? Is it officially in? Is it too soon to call it? What do you need to know about your crypto investments moving forward? We're going to cover that and a whole lot more. But before we do, we got to roll the intro. Let's hit it. All right, all right. Now, we're going to be doing a lot here, but before we get going, make sure go ahead and smash that like button. And if you do enjoy the video, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss anything at all. I do think today's going to be a little bit shorter of a video. We have been discussing and talking about the price of Bitcoin, the price of crypto, and specifically what this dip would look like for the last couple of weeks. And I'm not going to say calling it extremely perfectly, but I think hitting pretty close. And now we just want to update you guys on what we are seeing, what the next steps should be. Let's go ahead and go over to the price chart really quickly. Going to do some brief analysis here, get into some reasons why Bitcoin is back up today, and then kind of finish off by showing you what to look for on the next little move here in crypto prices. The first thing I want to bring to your guys' attention before we get too crazy bullish or bearish, let's just deal with a couple of things that are positive and negative from a simplistic standpoint. The first thing is we closed yesterday's candle above $60,000. I do believe that this is very important. It continues to support the bullish move here. Yes, we had a wick come all the way down into this green zone we warned about down at 58,500. But we were able to rally the day back up above 60,000. And that's something that's actually a great sign for the bulls. On the negative side, though, you will see this rising green line of support. We lost it yesterday, and currently we are wrestling right below it. So that's going to be another level that's very important. Are we turning this green line into resistance, or today or tomorrow can we recapture it, get back up inside, and even though we had a break of structure, continue this rising level of support with flat resistance that could lead toward a Bitcoin breakout to $100,000 in the next couple of months. But before we go too much deeper in the charts, I want to show you a couple of reasons why I do think that yesterday's move was extremely bullish. The first thing, as we have been warning you now for a long time, these dips are amazing opportunities for whales to buy up cheap Bitcoin. That's exactly what happened here. Bitcoin whale buys $961 million worth of Bitcoin amidst market dip. Flood events offer massive buy signals for seasoned investors. There's a tweet put out here by Ash Crypto detailing this transaction. You guys can see here, I'm actually, what chart even? I don't even know what exchange this is. But if you look at the information right here, there you go, 935.9, let's just call it 936 million dollars worth of Bitcoin. He paid a fee of 6,259 sats, or the equivalency of 371. Oh, poor guy. This is what we have been telling you guys would happen. Could I pinpoint for you the exact bottom? No. I had a couple different levels that looks very interesting, but the only thing I could tell you with certainty is that this was just another scenario that whales were utilizing to allow all of the scared retail investors to capitulate, sell their Bitcoins at the very bottom of this pullback. And then, of course, these whales would scoop in buying the dip. There's a lot of different things that go into this. And this is exactly what we have been talking about happening for the last couple of days. But another thing that I've talked about recently that I told you guys yesterday, actually, in the live show, this is what I want to see happen before I feel extremely confident that the bottom is in. And again, even now that I've seen this, I cannot tell you with 100% certainty the bottom is in. But when I saw this last night, oh man, my bullish feelings got tingling. I'm feeling pretty good, guys, that what we saw happen yesterday might have been the bottom. And here's one of the biggest indicators of it. It's called the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Now, before I show you what the number is, I told you guys yesterday on the show, historically, during these bull market run-ups, early bull market run-ups, we a lot of times will rally up into the 90s, fall back down into the 40s. So I told you guys I want to see 40 on the Bitcoin fear and greed before I feel comfortable about calling this the bottom. Look at what we got last night. A 30. Forget 40. We went all the way from 74 last week, 51 yesterday, to now today. Bitcoin fear and greed is sitting at 30. If you scroll down here and look at the max time, this is a plummet that is right on par with similar movements we've had in past bull markets, where, again, like I said, we get up into the high 80s, start pushing towards 90, pull back down towards 40, and then finally have our big push in the bull market that we shoot up again. This, I think, is a very positive sign for the Bitcoin market. Even though price is still sitting above $60,000, the fear has ticked back in Bitcoin for the first time since all the way back here in September of 2023. Hey, could you guys think with me for a second? What happened back in September of 2023? Oh, yeah, that was right before this massive leg of this bull market took off. This was back when we were at $25,000. So the market today is as scared at $61,000 as we were back in September at $25,000. If that's not bullish, I don't know. I don't know what is. So those are some reasons right now to feel optimistic. Some other reasons to feel very optimistic. And I talked it on the show yesterday, but I want to reiterate to you guys, look at the volume coming in on the dip yesterday. We've talked about this in depth. A lot of times these spikes in volume are communicating reversals coming into play. In fact, go ahead and take a look at every single one of these spikes of volume recently. They have all marked times where we were rallying either to the upside or we were dipping to the downside, but then the high volume came in, confirming there was a changing of the guards. In this case, the bears were in control all of yesterday, but then we had a large volume candle come in, communicating, all right, we just switched from heavy selling to heavy buying right as we came down into this zone of support right at about $59,000. But let's take a look at some other things happening right now on the charts. As I said earlier, I do want to see us get back up above this green line. Let's take a look at what everything else is saying. Our order block here on the daily chart that we talked about, it has massive buying pressure, continued to hold. We closed candles right there at the bottom of it. But I told you yesterday, as long as we close those candles and stay up above this order block, those bulls continue to fight on. And so watch out for what's happening there. We do have some big resistance going to be coming in if we start to rally back up towards 66,000. However, again, if we can reconquer and get above that green line, it's just a matter of time before the bulls break out to the upside. We are seeing right now on the 4-hour chart, which does kind of mark for the next couple of days, some buying signals going on here. If I were to go into our oscillators, you'll see here stochastics bottomed out and started to move up. The RSI was completely oversold and is now starting to move back to the upside. The MACD right here is now heading back towards a bullish cross. But the most powerful indicator, this Lux Algo oscillator, is calling for a buy signal this morning. Why? Well, first of all, we had a green reversal yesterday. We also turned bullish once again after being extremely low in this oscillator all the way down to 2. You also will see the money flow is flowing positive, and the excessive sellers that really helped dip yesterday's price, they have left the arena. This is a massive call for a bullish rally here. Short term, you could see some strong resistance back up to about 64, low end about 63, high end 64. That's because that is our 4-hour smart trail, that red cloud coming down. You'll also see some pretty strong order blocks and breaker blocks up here, closer to about 65,000. But again, what I'm more worried about in the short term, just the right here and now, let's get back up above this green line. Let's reevaluate what's happening. We'll worry about breaking this resistance later. Ultimately, the bears have been in control now for so long, pushing price to the downside. It'd just be nice to get the bulls to push back up. And once we get back and start hitting some of those levels, we'll be able to reevaluate and get the amount of power the bulls need to continue to push on through. Last thing I want to show you guys here is, even though there technically is a little bit of liquidations down below us, we have removed all of the bright yellow below. We've removed a lot of the longs that were in place. It's time potentially for fresh rallies, and you're going to see on this chart right now, the highest levels of liquidation are coming in on the low end back at 67, but most of them back up above 70,000. That's the 1 month chart. If I were to go to the 7-day chart, you're going to see something very, very similar, where again, we've taken out the majority of our bright liquidity. The next level we're looking at here potentially could be getting back up above 67,000. So is that new highs for the bull market? No, it is not. But is it bullish price action that, if that happens, reopens and changes the whole situation of what this market looks like? Absolutely. I'm not going to be able to tell you right at this moment with 100% certainty the bottom is in, but I am telling you what we're seeing in the markets right now. When we're looking at the charts, when we're looking at the sentiment, when we're looking at how whales are moving, and when we're looking at that fear and greed index, there's a lot of positive signs that yesterday's crash in crypto might have been the bottom. If you want to learn more about what the altcoins are doing, make sure you come back this afternoon at 3 p.m. for our live show. We will cover that and a whole lot more. But before you go, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like, hit subscribe. I'll see you this afternoon. You guys have a fantastic day.